Hello and welcome to the video demonstration of our RPG game. Starting right off, you can see our headers are included. We have a header including our group members' names and our date assignment and the title of our RPG game, which is Lost and Found. You can also see the inline comments, which describes the function or purpose of each script or function throughout the game, and each one is obviously different depending on the function. So we can head on over here to our requirements for the assignment, and we can go ahead and cross those right off. Also within the same script right here, we have another couple more requirements fulfilled. We have input function, and that's prompting the user for a response, and so we use the input statement right there, so that one can get crossed right off. We also, in this first script, we have a couple if-else statements. We have an if-else construct where you make a test, and if the test is successful, then it moves on. If the test is not successful, then it goes and takes different actions, but does not fulfill those first ones. So that is another fulfillment required right there. And also at the bottom here we have another simple if statement, which is based on the previous one. Right up here we can see that this test, if this test is passed, if the age is over 13, if this test is passed, then this simple if statement, just an if, and if the player puts in a number 1, then the intro for the game is displayed, and it heads right onto the first function of the game. So we can go on over here. Simple if statement is fulfilled, so we can cross that off as well. Okay, heading on over to our first function, forest, we can see our headers are still in place, and we still have our certain inline comments, our various inline comments, which are particular to this function. And we see another fulfillment is required here through the menu function, menu and switch statements. We have menu pop up with the title pick a path, and the user can choose through the forest or around the forest, and we use the switch statement here to do something with those two choices. And in case 1, for through the forest, it displays you go through the forest, and then leads you to a different function. And case 2 displays that you go around the forest, and it leads you to another function. So that's another requirement fulfilled for this assignment. For the requirement of using the menu and switch statements, you also fulfill using the menu command, because when you use the menu, that prompts the user to type or to press some sort of button which uses the menu command. In the bush function, we have an if-else construct, and we are only testing for 2 different sets of actions here. It's if the leaves input is 2, if you're selecting a certain type of leaves there, you go on, else if the leaves equals 1, you're done, game over. So that fulfills that if-else if construct with only 2 different sets of actions. Later on, however, we have 3 different sets of actions, and that should be right here in our question function. In our question function, we have if the question is between 1 and 5, you're good. It leads you to a different script. Else if the question is between 6 and 10, you're wrong, and anything else in that, you're wrong. So there's our 3 different options right there. So that fulfills that requirement, which is like in the requirement says, if it's similar to number 4, but it only has 3 sets of actions instead of 2. I also forgot to mention earlier in the video of another requirement fulfilled in our first main game function script here. We have a nested if statement, and I knew it was there, and I just did not copy and pasted it in there, but it is there. We have a nested if statement. If the age is greater than 13 or equal to 13, it displays would you like to play, and then if you would like to play, it leads you to the rest of the game. But that's a nested if statement right there, and that fulfills another requirement right here, number 6. Alright, another requirement fulfilled in the question function is within this if, else, if clause, we have the and being used, the and compound condition, which is 2 tests in 1, and we have that clearly used right there, so that is fulfilled as well. So we can go ahead and cross that off. And finally, in our still not happy function, we have the use of the compound function, the or. We have the or there. We have the compound condition or, separated by the or, where it's either if this or this is fulfilled, then you're good. And we have that fulfilled as well. And that completes what we need to include in our selection statements. In terms of using the input DLG command, the input dialog, we have that used in our baby troll function, where the baby troll will not let him pass unless he plays a game of tic-tac-toe with him. And we can do this, we just run it, and that leads us to our makeboard function, which we are very familiar with from our tic-tac-toe game, and where the user inputs numbers, and it marks, and this is the use of the input dialog function. Therefore, we see we have used all of these, and we have therefore completed every single requirement for this assignment. Thank you for watching.